Hello everybody, this is Shane R. Monroe, and you are in the passenger seat with me, Passenger Seat Radio. It is Wednesday, November 18th, 2020. A lot of T's in there. And you are sitting with me in my car, in my driveway. Welcome to the show. It's late. I don't remember the last time I've ever done a show in the dark. It's 5:58 p.m. our time. And there's just a little tiny bit of light in front of me, but not much. I can see the palm trees up in the light. It's kind of funny when I first came down to Phoenix for a job interview. This was in '98. The person who was courting me, Ron Corcoran at the time, he and one of the members of the HR group took me up to her place. And, she had it all. She had the lavish pool. It was a beautiful time. I think it was September-ish. So, well, maybe it wasn't that cool. I don't remember. Anyway, that was a long time ago. But I remember sitting there and it's like, this is the most beautiful place ever. I mean, the water's running. It's warm. The palm trees are sticking up over the horizon. The sky is clear. And I thought, I could live here. I could definitely live here. This would be an amazing place to live. And here I am now. God, 22 years later? Is that right? Or is it longer than that? 22 years later. Damn. Time's going by so fast. I'm going to have to get my ass in the box here pretty soon, I guess. I don't know. So anyway, hey everybody. I'm sitting in my car. I've got my Lenovo Duet, since I'm not actually driving. I've got my Duet with the kickstand up right in my console, right up against my gear shift, and I've got Keep open. This is awesome. Let me see. It's telling me I need to install the Keep app now. No more browser for you. You must have the app. All right, well, listen, I've got a huge backlog of crap to talk about, so let's get busy. I was hoping to have somebody in the live chat. Sometimes these later shows end up having different groups of people that show up, but we'll see. It's only 6 o'clock here, so England would be like, I guess it's a little bit late there, right? So it's plus 7 hours over there, so yeah. So it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. Probably not going to get anybody from over there. All right, so let's tidy up the last of the Dragon's Lair discussion. I posted a few more videos for Dragon's Lair, the mini cabinet from Replicade, and I did a painstaking comparison. I played through on Replicade. I played through the entire game twice with 2 players, all the way to the Dragon's Lair. I did the same thing in Daphne, and then scene for scene, frame for frame, I lined them up into a video so you could see just how accurate and how good the Replicade Dragon's Lair is. So if you haven't seen that video, you might want to check it out. Pretty damn cool. One of the other things that people had noticed was in the direct feed where I was capturing from the HDMI out of Dragon's Lair, the pitch seemed to be a little off at times. Sometimes it was okay, but other times it wasn't. And in this video that I compared the direct feed to, I sort of pointed out where I heard these variances of pitch. Most of the time it was music that you heard it on. But I went back again and played through the whole thing, but the moire on the LCD screen was just too terrible in this last video. I actually mounted my gimbal, and I had a beautiful shot of the cabinet with my hands on it, playing it, and I played it all the way through. And then when I went back and looked at the video after the fact, I was doing a little post-production action, I noticed that the angle, the size, the distance from the screen or whatever, I was getting this terrible moire effect on the screen. And you saw the same thing a little bit in that Super Mario video, if you happen to have noticed that. So these LCDs, you gotta be real careful when you're taking these videos because they moire up. So I also, speaking of videos, so we'll put Dragon's Lair to bed. Do I have anything else to talk about Dragon's Lair, or can we that's just a done and done thing? Good. It's over with. We're done talking about Dragon's Lair. So one of the other things that I've done recently is I've been trying to improve the quality of my YouTube channel. And this is in the way of adding lighting and more recently adding a direct sound feed lav mic, to capture direct audio into the phone. And I rigged it up pretty good. So essentially I got my Samsung S10 on the gimbal. I've got the lav mic plugged into it. It's got a really long cord, right? And that runs from the phone into the, audio jack on the phone all the way underneath the table, all around, up my shirt, and then it pins onto my lapel. And there's a sort of a weird hum in the Super Mario Brothers video that I was brought to my attention. And I'm not sure if it's a hum. I'm gonna have to do more experimentation. I'm not sure if it's a hum or if it's actually an ambiance sound from the kitchen where I'm shooting this from. It could go either way. So I need to do more, and it could be because I have the cable running along the gimbal, which has, the big battery in it. So that could be causing some sort of a hum. I've got to play around with it. But I'm doing my best to try to sort of up the game with the channel and produce more videos, more quality videos, better production quality, and a little more frequently. So you'll probably see my channel, getting a nice steady stream. I'm trying to work a little bit harder on the thumbnails, which is work that I absolutely hate doing. If I was actually making some decent money on this thing, maybe I'd hire somebody to do thumbnails, because it's almost an art form in itself, getting compelling thumbnails. And I've watched a bunch of videos on, this is a compelling thumbnail. But it's just, after slaving away on this video, right? After doing the video, recording it, doing all the post work, then I have to sit down and make a fucking thumbnail. It just makes me crazy. I don't want to do it. But I do it, just not as well as I could. So that leads me to my next little announcement. I have decided to monetize YouTube. And this is weird for me. Most of my audience here at Passenger Seat Radio have been with me since like the early days of retro gaming radio, and you've been through many of my online endeavors. And for me, it's never about money. For me, it's about when money comes into the equation, it's like anything else. It starts to become a job. When there's money involved and when there's people paying you, in essence, for something, you feel this extraordinary urge to deliver, and there's pressure. And then what used to be fun, what used to be an ad hoc show, what used to be let's just throw the camera up and record some video of, Game & Watch Super Mario Brothers. Instead of that, now it becomes, okay, from Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m., I'm going to set up the studio. I'm going to bang out 3 videos. I'm going to post-produce them. I'm going to release them, Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Everything becomes so, work. So, but at the same time, somebody brought a really good point up. Just because I'm not making money on YouTube doesn't mean that YouTube isn't making money on me. And I sort of thought about that, and it's like, what if I run ads? What if I opt in, and what if ads pop up? Not all of my friends are on YouTube Premium. A lot of them are, but ads are going to pop up. That's going to sour people to my channel. Maybe people won't, stay and watch. Maybe this is the wrong path to do. And I sort of had the intervention where it's like, listen, people are used to ads on YouTube. Just because you're freaked out about ads and you block ads every 2 seconds, most people don't give a rat's ass. Just do it. YouTube's making money on you. Make money on YouTube. And then there was some stats shared with me about this and that, and how much money they were making at a particular period of time on YouTube. And I'm going, geez. I recently started monetizing with Amazon. Right? So I would do all of these Medium articles. I would do these tutorials. I would do these videos showing you how to use Bluetooth transmitters to effectively cast your Oculus Quest, right? So I'm doing all this stuff anyway, and all I'm doing is throwing Amazon free business. And I've tried the affiliate thing in the past, and it hasn't worked out very well. But I'm now officially sort of, I'm working the monetization with Amazon. And I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary, right? So if you get like news feeds or you've got like an aggregate and you get these, 10 items from Amazon that'll change your life, this clickbait stuff like that. And it's like you go in there and of course, there's 10 items and they're all affiliate links and they're all destined to just drive you to Amazon. And that's how these people make money. That's how they make a living, is doing these articles, sending you to Amazon. And so I'm on my second month of monetization with Amazon. And, listen, I'm not making a fortune here. I mean, my last one was about $50 and the one before that was like 30. But listen, you add that up and maybe this YouTube thing works out. And if I'm making a little bit of scratch here, a little bit of scratch there, maybe I can actually pay for all the stuff that's outbound, right? I pay $20 a month for Spreaker, right? I pay $10 a month for Otter AI to transcribe the shows, which I'm very lax in getting done. What else am I putting out for? I'm putting out for web hosting, right? For my various endeavors. I have a web host that I pay monthly fees for. So I'm probably out of pocket still, even if I'm making a pittance from these other things, but who knows how that'll go. But one thing though that I have noticed about monetizing YouTube is it sort of gives me a little more incentive. Just a little bit, just enough to get that microphone, just enough to try a little harder to get better lighting, just enough to maybe not do a video if I don't have a cameraman available. If it's, it's not the right kind of video, I need somebody who can zoom in and pan around the product. So anyway, I think it's okay. I'm going to kind of chill with it and we'll see how it goes. But if you're wondering about my activities, well, that's one of the things that I've been up to. Monetization of YouTube. Done. Let's see. So, recently I've been pimping a tool called Audials, 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 as the greatest tool for ripping video and music off the internet, right? You guys know me. I'm about physical media. But if you can't get physical media, the next best thing you can do is have media files that are deprotected, that are agnostic to a service that you can play whenever you want to play, right? Wherever you want to play it. And not be tied to a cloud, not be tied to a monthly fee, not be tied to this, not be tied to that. So I ran across my first real big wall with Audials. And, listen, I'll talk about how great a product is, but when they fall short, I'm going to jump right back on here and tell you about it. So as everybody knows, Google Play Music is no more. It's gone the way of the dodo, which is way too bad because I had the greatest tool ever called MusicMate on Android. And it would let you rip anything you wanted off of Google Play Music into a nice, clean 320 kilobit per second MP3 file. It's not FLAC, but listen, the peasants have to have their music, right? So anyway, one of the big things that I was concerned with Google Play Music going away is what's going to replace MusicMate rather. And so I came across Audials when I was looking to rip videos from Netflix and Amazon Prime, mostly documentaries, right? Because, if you know where to look, you can find almost anything and you don't have to rip it yourself. But listen, I get into some of these weird documentaries and these things just aren't available anywhere else. So you got to rip them yourself. So you sign up for a free trial of Netflix, rip 3 or 4 documentaries, and you cancel your service. And this works across the board, folks. I got a subscription to, what was that service that's tried to screw me over? Fortunately, I was using privacy.com to use a burner card, but, for that the Go-Go's, documentary, right? So I used that. I used a trial to pull that down with Audials. So what's wrong with Audials? Where's the problem? Well, YouTube Music has like 3 different tiers hidden within its realms. Hey, Gus is here. First live person in 14 and a half minutes. Well, it's nice to have somebody here. Hey, Gus. Poor Gus. He did some graphics for me for my Beat Saber Quest website. And so I wanted to give him some credit, maybe get him a little bit of work or something at the bottom. It's like, graphics from the side by, what's the name of it begins with a K, right? Give me the name of your company, dude. I'll plug you here too, because I have so many listeners. I'm such an influencer. But, so we put his link in the footer, basically, crediting him for the graphics. And every time somebody has hey, Chris Hull, holy hell, where have you been? I thought you dropped off the face of the earth, my brother. Look at you. You got your real face on there. It's good to see you, brother. Yeah, Carve Design. K-A-R-V Design. yeah, so that's Gus's graphics company. Anyway, so he constantly gets email from people trying to figure out how to do custom songs on Beat Saber. How does BMBF work? I can't figure this out. I can't figure that out. And he just forwards these to me with like this, what the fuck, dude? I mean, why are they writing the graphics people about how to use BMBF? Poor guy. I should have something down there that says, technical support contact here instead of that poor guy having to get them all, but pretty funny. But anyway, so back to the YouTube Premium thing. So the YouTube Music, like I said, there's like 3 tiers within there, and it's really hard to get a grasp on what's what. So there's your music, right? So music that you've put up there, of course, you can upload, download, unlimited access, whatever. It's your music, right? Then there is the YouTube Music tier, which I don't know if everybody has access to or how that works. There's another tier in the middle. And anything within that tier, you can rip with Audials, right? You just, you bring up a song, you hit share, you feed it to Audials, and it pulls the song down. It takes care of all the tagging and everything. It's great. It's beautiful. It's exactly what you want. So I was hanging out with the unicorns of BMBF. That's the group that does the hacking tools that allow you to play custom songs on the Oculus Quest, right? For Beat Saber. And we're hanging out and we were talking about, what were we talking about? What was the lead into this? I don't know. Oh, I know what it was. Everyone was starting to wind down for the night. We'd gotten the release out. All the notes were updated. It was in the hands of the people, and the unicorns are exhausted because they've been doing this for like 36 hours straight. And so one of them said, I gotta go to school tomorrow. I gotta hit the sack, blah, blah, blah. And I write down the unicorn sleeps tonight, right? And somebody responds with a bar or two of the lion sleeps tonight, right? And I said, you know what? We need that. We need that in Beat Saber. We need like a dance mix of the Lion Sleeps Tonight in Beat Saber. I got a couple of mapper friends. I bet I could get somebody to map that out real quick for us. And so I was digging around, and I have a couple of nice little techno remixes of the Lion Sleeps Tonight. And so I was posting them into the unicorn chat, and I was like, yeah, this one's good, but I seem to remember there being a better one. So I went to YouTube Music. And I found one and I started listening to it. I'm like, no, this is it. This is the best Lion Sleeps Tonight Beat Saber custom map possibilities right here. This is it. So I fire up Audials, right? I'm ready to just rip it on down and send it over to Major Pickle or Tech Butterfly and beg them to do a map for me. And, error processing this URL. I'm like, wait, what? So I go back, I double check, I do the share, I get the link, I open up a new browser window, I paste it in the browser window, it's playing fine. So I'm at this for about a half hour trying to figure out what's the problem. Well, there's another tier inside of YouTube Music. This is the premium tier. Now, I don't know what separates YouTube Music from YouTube Music Premium tier because there's no little icons, there's no little dollar signs, there's nothing that says this song is only available for premium. None of that. All I can tell you is if I am not signed in with my premium account, I got two different identities on Google, one for Monroe World and one for Shane R. Monroe. And if I'm signed in with the one I'm paying for, which is the Shane R. Monroe, I can play Lion Sleeps Tonight. If I sign in with the Monroe World, I get a smaller subset of music. So I reached out to Audials and I submitted a trouble ticket and I said, listen, this is what we've got going on here. I've ripped tons of music. In fact, that new Kylie Minogue album, Disco, right? She's like, Kylie Minogue's like Elton John. Like every 5 or 6 years, she shows up, puts out a number one hit somewhere in the world and then, vanishes for a few years. So she just resurfaced. She released this Disco album. Critics are liking it. Fans are liking it. She's already on the top 10 charts somewhere, probably Australia or England or something. But anyway, so I'm like, yeah, well, let me go grab that album. Click, 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 click. Audials rips it down 2 or 3 seconds. I've got the music. I'm good to go. Oddly enough, I still haven't listened to it yet, but I got it. for when I'm ready. I've got it. But Lion Sleeps Tonight, forget about it. Right? I can have Kylie Minogue's brand new album, but I can't have Lion Sleeps Tonight. So I sent in a ticket. I said, listen, here's a link to the song. It will not download. I assure you the link is correct. So something is awry. This is before I kind of put 2 and 2 together and figured out there's another tier within the YouTube music thing. That's before I figured out that if you're logged in as a premium member, you can play the song. If you're not logged in as a premium member, you don't get to play the song. So I write to them, and within 24 hours, I mean, within a day, listen, you got to give them credit for being, fast turnaround. They write me back and they're like, yeah, the link doesn't work for us either. I'm like, yeah, no shit. I told you it didn't work. What do you didn't believe? You got to figure with these the level 0 tech support people, right? These are people pasting in links from Vimeo into a YouTube thing and it doesn't work. How come it doesn't work? Well, sir, you haven't used the right link. So I'm like, no. I said, I'm sure it's the right thing. And they're like, well, can you do a screen capture of playing the song and then trying to drag that song into Audials? And I said, yeah, sure. I'll do that for you. So I make the video. And just as I'm shooting the video, I'm starting to realize that the difference here is the logged in account. And so when I sent him the video, I'm like, listen, I think it has to do with the fact that Audials is not representing me in whatever capturing system you're using. So we probably need to have some methodology of me authenticating into YouTube, just like, and that's exactly what MusicMate did. When you signed into MusicMate on Android, before you went over to Google Play, before you could actually record from Google Play, it would flip open the Google Play window, right? Google Play Music, and then it would flip back over, showing that it got the credentials it needed to get those songs down. So I get that. Anyway, so they wrote back and they're like, yeah, listen, we see exactly what's going on. We'll get with the developers. And I'm like, yeah, all right. Yeah. I paid $29 for this thing. I'm getting my money's worth, So, but I did want to mention that because I do push the product a lot and I want you guys to know that I found a flaw. And with everybody now either going to YouTube Music or going somewhere else, that you may experience some sort of problem. So I did mention that Game & Watch earlier. I don't have a lot to talk about. I mean, I did it in the video. I talked about it and I showed it off. It's pretty cool. Game & Watch was way beyond my pay grade growing up. When those things were popular, first off, I was not a Nintendo fan, if you guys remember. I was not a big Nintendo fan back then. I felt that the Nintendo and the NES took away the traction that we got as computer users, right? Because we had the big video game crash. Consoles were dead, right? So computers were getting all the love. The Commodore 64, the Amiga, we were all the game developers that no longer had a meal ticket with consoles were developing top-notch games for computers. I'm like, yes, this is it. And then Nintendo shows up with the NES and all the developers run off again, right? Now we're back to, Weekend Warrior software. That sucked. I wanted Probe Entertainment Mortal Kombat on the Amiga. I did want Scorch Tanks on the Amiga, but I'm just saying, you see where I'm going with this. So Nintendo and I were not fans, but there were tons of things in that era that, we were poor, man. I mean, there wasn't a lot of money to be had and $50, $60 Game & Watch. I seem to remember them being like $49.99, right? That's exactly how much the new one costs too in $20. But, yeah. So, there's no nostalgia hit for me is my point. But I thought, listen, they're supposedly in short supply. Amazon has them in stock. Might as well grab one. Hey, listen, it's good for the new monetized YouTube channel, right? Let's do it. Let's throw it in the YouTube channel. And, my son, of course, he's in a Nintendo. He's a video gamer. So he was like totally into getting into it. In fact, he even found that there's some hidden shit in there. There's a how to draw Mario Easter egg ducked in there. And he actually brought it to me the day after. It's like, why couldn't you have had this the day we were shooting the damn video? That would have been even more impressive. I could have had clickbait on the thumbnail, right? Hidden secrets inside of Game & Watch you must see. I'm no good at clickbait. I feel like I'm lying. And, not that that's not the truth. I am going to show you a secret, but it's like, what kind of secret is that? My secret's not curing cancer. My secret's not disarming the Soviet nuclear weapon, nuclear missile codes, right? I mean, this is, this is how to draw Mario inside of a $50 Game & Watch. But it's a neat piece of tech, and the screen looks gorgeous. I have to admit that they really delivered the packaging and everything else. You can still get your hands on one if you're even remotely a fan. It's probably worth your time just to have one in the collection. But pretty neat stuff. That was something else that I bought with the impetus of going to my YouTube channel. So I'll be getting more stuff probably that is to go to the YouTube channel. Let's see, what's next? I got some VR stuff to talk about. Several things, actually. But before we get into that, everyone likes to know where Bryan and I are with our movies and what we're watching. People ask me all the time, what did you and Bryan watch this weekend? So, it's a fun story. So we started watching, so we have a couple of standby shows that are constantly playing in the background. We are a background noise family. My wife is that way, my son is that way, and so am I. We like to have something we know in the background playing. Not something new, not something interesting, but just something that we've seen a million times. For a while, it was Modern Family, right? Now that Modern Family's off the air, and we've had that on rotation for months and months. Then it was Auction Hunters. It's a big fan favorite. So we had that on rotation. And so now we have 70 Show. That 70 Show. We finally got him into that. We introduced him to that. We love that show. It's a big family favorite. And so now that gets put on random shuffle in the background. So we sort of needed a new show to start, right? And so we decided to start Married with Children, right? Because he's a big fan of, Ed O'Neill, right? From Modern Family. So we got some shared characteristics there. And let's be honest, that's one funny show, and it's so irreverent. And, back at the time, it was sensational television, right? It was sensationalism type stuff, and it was very dysfunctional family, and it was, a lot of people considered it coloring outside the lines, and this guy is, this whole family is a complete disgusting mess, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's totally tame now. I mean, there's like nothing going on in there that we haven't seen endlessly, but it's got very clever writing, especially like the first 4 or 5 seasons are just downright awesome. And so we've been watching that. But for us, one of our problems is watching movies. We like to watch movies when my wife's in bed, but we like to watch movies that are loud and boisterous. And frankly, a lot of the movies that I'm showing my son at this age, as he's starting this coming of age thing, is a lot of dialogue heavy stuff, right? Because like anything from Kevin Smith, be it Mallrats or Clerks or Chasing Amy or Dogma, they're great movies, but the magic is in the precise execution of amazing dialogue. Dogma is fantastic. Chasing Amy is almost too dialogue heavy. You're almost spending too much time chewing dialogue than actually watching the movie. Right? So you can take something too far. But with Chasing Amy, like I have having to rewind the damn movie. It's like, do you understand what's going on here? He gets the dick and fart jokes, but there's an undertone, right? There's this girl this woman is gay, and Ben Affleck falls in love with her and he tries to convert her. And there's this, I don't know if you've seen it or not. Chasing Amy's not one of Kevin Smith's more popular movies, but I happen to like that sort of thing. So anything, lesbians equal ratings, right? But, listen to Howard Stern, he'll tell you. But, so I was trying to get through it with him, but we had to turn on subtitles and I had to keep rolling it back. It was a mess. So we sort of calmed down on the movie watching. But we did dust off Con Air, which is one of my amazing Nicolas Cage guilty pleasures. I love me some Con Air, man. In some cases, it's so bad, it's good. In other cases, it's like, this is what a summer blockbuster used to be. Now it's like 900 scenes of CGI and bad physics. But back then, it was, plane crashes and explosions and people getting into real fistfights where they weren't CG'd half the time and on wires the other half of the time. You know what I mean? There's something very visceral and real about these sort of summer blockbuster action type popcorn movies. And I don't feel them anymore. I don't look at Marvel movies and, DC movies. Those movies don't feel like these did to me. They are, I don't know, they're processed. They're over processed. That's the best way I can explain it. But anyway, so he really liked Connor. He's a big Nicolas Cage fan as well. So we watched Con Air, but we kept my wife awake. And I'm like, God, there's gotta be something we can do here, man. Maybe I can run a speaker set behind the couch, right? So we can be sitting on the couch and we can have the speakers right next to our heads. Maybe that would help. So not recently, but within the last few months, I was looking for a solution for broadcasting audio wirelessly from the Quest back to the PC so that you could do like a live stream with your voice and Oculus Quest audio. Go to my channel and search for streaming or streamer. I can't remember what it was under, but you'll find that what I was doing with these, they're like $60 and it comes with a Bluetooth transmitter and a Bluetooth receiver. And they're sort of prepared and you can make either one a transmitter, either one a receiver, fits 1/8 inch headphone jacks. It worked amazing for the Quest. And I break them out from time to time to do some sort of a video, but I was thinking to myself, well, why can't we use these for headphones, man? Why can't we put the transmitter on our receiver, on, our stereo receiver in the living room, on the media center, and pump it out to a Y splitter off of this receiver, this Bluetooth receiver, and just listen with headphones on. So we got to try it for the first time last night, and we watched Tombstone, which is what I've been dying to show him, Tombstone. But I keep putting it off, and I keep putting it off because I'm afraid he's not old enough to truly appreciate it. You know what I mean? Because Tombstone, while it has great action scenes, and it's got like every famous person in everyone in there's famous, right? Some famous actor, everyone's in there. And I know he's a huge Kurt Russell fan too. So I knew I had a lock with the Kurt Russell thing, but Westerns are hit and miss for me anyway. And so I assume for him, and there's no real big special effects and there's not a ton of violence. I mean, there's plenty of shooting and all that stuff, but and there's the understory, the love story underpinning it and all this other stuff. I figured the longer I waited, but not too long, the more likely I could sell him on how amazing the movie Tombstone is. And, so needless to say, the timing was perfect. And guess what? This headphone rig up that I did kicked ass. I mean, the audio is not surround. So you have to drop to 2-channel, which that does suck. And I know a lot of people are saying you can't watch movies in 2-channel. That's not right. That's not fair. That's not civilized. But there's a trade. The, dialogue, that center channel that is it's like a Kevin Smith movies. We're watching Chasing Amy. We're going to start it over and we're going to watch it with the headphones on because he's going to be able to hear every word, every nuance, every crack. You hear it all. And so that was a huge success. So that really opens up some doors for us to start watching more and more of these louder movies, these movies that would typically cause my wife to be awake and cause problems. We can now lay there on the couch in blissful silence watching these amazing movies. So that was pretty cool. So that's what we've been up to in the movie department. Let me check that one off. Where is it? Okay, there we go. Let's see. Plex Dash. Let me just talk about this real quick, not too long. If you have the Plex media server and you have a Plex Pass, there is a tool available for you for free from Plex called Plex Dash. And it is exactly what it sounds like. It's a dashboard for your Plex server that you put on your phone. So you can watch what's going on. You can see who's watching what. You have access to almost everything. It's not something to play back video. It's something to maintain and observe and monitor your Plex server. Well, they posted something, and I didn't make this connection until they posted something on Twitter about updating your covers. Now, listen, I'm one of those weird people. I like the covers that I originally saw the movie with, right? So when you went to the video store, you went to Blockbuster or Liberty Video, and you got a movie, it came in a case with a cover on it. Or you take the box up with the cover on, they give you a shitty rental box. But the covers were sometimes the only way you could judge a movie. There was no frickin' Rotten Tomatoes. There was no Internet Movie Database. You rented movies based on how cool the damn cover was, right? And sometimes the cover was 10 times better than the movie. And other times it was the exact opposite. Who the hell put this cover together? Bob from accounting? This movie kicks ass. It deserves a better box. But these are the boxes that are ingrained in our psyche, right? You go down to Liberty Video, you walk the new release items. There's the Scream cover. There's the National Lampoon's Vacation cover. and she's chained to his ankle. There's all these things, and, sometimes they change it because, it's not nice to have a woman chained to a man's leg anymore. It's like, dude, it's a movie, and it's never mind. I can't explain it to you. If you have a problem with that, I can't explain it to you. There's no way I can make this work. But anyway, so a lot of times these movies have been re-released like 5 times, right? They double dip, triple dip, quadruple dip. It's DVD, special edition DVD, collector's edition DVD, reissue DVD, Blu-ray, special edition Blu-ray, 2-disc special edition Blu-ray, collector's edition Blu-ray, ultimate collector's 4K. Oh my God, it's Robert Loggia edition, And, in some cases, when it's not collector, or it's not Scream or Shout Factory, where they actually give you the original covers as well as a reimagined one, they give you these horrible covers. You want to see the worst cover ever? Go look at the European Vacation re-release cover that they put out. Horrible. So one of the things that I do when I add a movie to Plex is because Plex does its best check to go out and pick up a cover for it. A lot of times it gets some alternate cover, some reissue cover. They pick up a movie poster instead of the cover or something like that. You guys know what I'm talking about. To go in and change covers inside the Plex server is a pain in the ass. It just is. It's not convenient. Plex Dash is convenient as hell. Super easy. You can sit there and process cover after cover after cover after cover after cover. Bing, 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 and be done. It's awesome. If nothing else, that's worth downloading and installing Plex Dash just for cover management. So I wanted to share that with you because I was all excited about it. Let's see. How well are we on here? 36 minutes. Okay. Let's talk a little VR stuff. I ran across a couple of titles that you need to be aware of for the virtual reality video gaming platforms. One of them is called Walkabout Mini Golf. And I know you're thinking, shit, Shane, mini golf? You had us all brought up for this. Mini golf? Come on. But Walkabout Mini Golf, there's something special about Walkabout Mini Golf. Recently, we had Pro Putt-Putt Golf, which was a great title. I talked about it, I think, on this very show. It's on my top 40 list of VR games, right? But this Walkabout Golf, it's not too much, right? Like Howard would say, it's too much. All of this running around and putting, it's too much. But this Walkabout Golf, it's easy in, it's easy out. It's social enough that if you want to just hang out with your buddies, you feel like you're literally there just kicking around. You can sit there and shoot the shit. The mechanics are good. The layout's good. You've got lost balls to go find. There's plenty of courses to play. There's a regular version of the course and a hard version of the course. There's lots of replay. There's leaderboards. You got a God mode that you can fly up top and look at the whole course from up above. And it's available on Quest, on Oculus Rift, and it's coming to Steam. So I don't know when it's coming to Steam, but it needs to hurry the hell up because I got a lot of friends. I will be buying copies of Walkabout Mini Golf just so that I have somebody to play with. I mean, I have a couple of friends that I play with now, my Beat Saber mapping friends. We've been playing at least a couple of rounds every week on the weekends. But I thought that was something. It's like $15. It's like cheap too. It's not like saying, oh yeah, that sounds great, but it's gonna be like $40. Come on, mini golf. Yeah, it's $15. And the kicker, the cherry on top, no Facebook is required, right? So if you guys know how it is with the Oculus Quest and Facebook is now taking over, going Gestapo. You want to party up with your friends. You want to play games together. You can sign into Facebook. More fun with Facebook. Chat with your friends on Facebook. Yeah, fuck Facebook. So, anyway, Walkabout Mini Golf uses a private gaming system, which is the way everybody should do it, frankly. And you all get on and you all enter the same room name and bing, bang, boom, you're in a party. And nobody else can get in. You can have up to 5 players playing at a time, which is great, and it's an amazing amount of fun. If you have the means, I highly recommend picking it up. Walkabout Mini Golf, virtual reality, good stuff. Also in virtual reality, I ran across this game called Cybercade. This is available on the Oculus platform only, I'm afraid. It's on Quest and it's on Rift. Most of you, I think a lot of you that do have VR, I think have Rifts. Some of you have Windows Mixed Reality. But you can still play Oculus stuff with Windows Mixed Reality. You just have to use this Revive tool. But anyway, so it's called Cybercade. It's a pay what you want for game, right? They recommend $7, but you can download and play the entire game for free without any donation. And it is literally like Lethal Enforcers, but in VR. Right? And I did a video. If you want to go see it in person, it's cooperative. So you and a buddy can play together, just like Lethal Enforcers, just like all these cool gun games from the 90s, right? These, essentially, the levels, all of the guys come out at the same time at the same place. So you can become better through memorization, but it's almost cruel and difficult, right? But every time you get just a little bit further. Oh yeah, I know where that guy is now. A little bit further. And again, it looks great. It's simple. It's easy in. You can party up through a room number or a room name. You don't have to use Facebook. Easy peasy. You get in, you play. And it's a lot of fun. New Retro Arcade. Is that the one where you basically set up all your ROM images and your emulators, and it basically gives you like a VR arcade, but you've got to do all the work on the backside? Is that one, or is it the other one? I always there's one that has nothing to do with setting up your own arcade, and then there's that one. So I don't know which one you're talking about for sure, but I got too much. I don't like setting up my own stuff anymore. My buddy Mordrock is one of the Watchmen guys for the channel that I'm plugging on here. He's in the process of building this ultimate launch box emulation package. I mean, every time I talk to him, well, I did some more of this, I did some more of that, I added this game, I added this. He is ass and elbows. He's probably got hundreds of hours into that. I would have loved that. I would have loved doing that. In fact, I've done this with MAME and my original arcade cabinet that I put together. I did this exact same thing. Endless curation, endless, fiddling with this, finicking with that, setting this up, blah, blah, blah. And I would love doing that. Not anymore. Dude, I am over 50 now. My days I'm on the downside. I'm on the back nine. The last thing I want to do is spend the next fucking 10 years of my life trying to come up with a decent looking VR arcade. Eventually, somebody will come up with a turnkey image, just like we have on Raspberry Pi, which leads me to segue into my next topic. Listen, I'm not looking for the perfect scenario anymore. I just want somebody to throw shit together for me at this point. Just give me an image and I'll cull out what I don't want, or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just forget about it. Storage is cheap. You know what I'm saying? Back in the old days, we were culling shit because we didn't have room for 17 gigabytes of MAME ROMs. Now it's like, fuck it. Put in a new hard drive. No problem. I don't care if there's 900 copies of Area 51 on there. Put them on. It saves me time. I don't have to do it. So if you, Cybercade in VR, I recommend it. So, recently, speaking of Pi and images and retro gaming, I recently acquired a Pi 4, right? I've got Pi 3s falling out of my ass. One of them is now a Pi hole that's blocking ads on my network. But I grabbed a Pi 4 and I grabbed this incredible case. It's the Argon 1 M2 case. And it's a very deluxe, very well built, heatsink built in, fan built in, premium built. That's what I'm saying. It's not some fucking 3D thing printed on Etsy. This is like a premium product. And it costs, but it's a premium product. It's $45, I think, plus shipping. And this case actually has a built-in base that accepts M2 hard drives. No shit. You slide one of these thumbstick drives in there. It looks like a memory sim, right? These M2 drives. You slide it in there. You attach it to the bottom of this Pi case. You put this little jumper that crosses over the two USB ports. And boom, you have 128 gigabytes of ultra-fast hard drive powering a Pi 4 running your favorite classic game. So I grabbed this image called Childhood Memories, something or another. It's a 128 gig image. I bought an M2 portable drive reader. I'm into this thing for a lot of cash, folks. And so I plugged it into my PC. I got the image. I wrote the image on there. And now with the Pi 4, with an upgrade to their firmware, it can actually boot off of high capacity storage drives. You no longer have to have an SD card in there to act as a bootstrapper. I can literally run my entire Pi 4, 128 gigabyte SSD drive. I mean, this image has it all, folks. I mean, it's got the arcade, it's got the consoles, it's got Daphne, for Christ's sake, and all the games, not just Dragon's Lair and Space Lace like I would have put on it, but it's got Thayer's Quest, it's got all of those games on there, right? So this image has it all, and every time you boot up, you get this new theme, this new intro video, you get a new interface. It's premium shit, and thank God somebody else built it and not me. So for me, that's how I'm getting sort of that retro fix again. But anyway, I got a video of it up there. I just reload it over and over again, and I run through the different interfaces so you can kind of see what's on the image and what it looks like each time you boot. And that's available on my YouTube channel too. The Argon 1 M2 case. You know, I was thinking about it. For $150, essentially, you get the Pi 4, you get the Argon case, you get a 128 gigabyte drive, and you get like a Logitech, F700 controller. That's under $150, and you literally have like the best fucking Christmas gift you could give anybody, right? Like anybody over the age of 30, or maybe 40 at this point. Just imagine that for $150, the guy that has everything, the woman who has everything, the family that has everything, what can you get them? Jesus H. Christ, for $150, which is, listen, I know that sounds like a lot of money, but you know, when you're talking about giving a family gift to some close friends, $150 is nothing. You throw this thing together, you have the images already pre-built, you just write them to the drive, you plug them in, you turn them on, bing, bang, boom, you're back at the mall. And listen, what a great gift. I mean, I'm trying to think of, you know, who I can give this to, who I can build these for Christmas that could really appreciate them. So, very, very cool. Let's see, how much time do I have? I'm at 46 minutes. So, my friend Chad knows that I'm really into like documentaries, and I'm into weird documentaries. I want to know about really fucked up people. And so he sent me 2 different documentary series to watch. They're both on the exact same thing. They're on this cult called Nexium, made by it's all run by this total freak ass guy named Keith Rainere. And, you know, I vaguely, you know, this is something so big, I would have thought I would have heard about it, but I didn't, or I don't know why. I can't use the excuse that I was at sea when this happened, because this was like in the, you know, late 2000s, early 2010s, right? And I don't remember this at all. I mean, I do remember just snippets of it, but I don't know. I would think that this would have been more on my radar. But there's 2 docuseries. One of them's called The Vow, and it's 10 parts. And it's all from the perspective of top participants. I mean, people who like were founders of the organization, not Keith Rainere, but like his number 1, his number 2, his most trusted people. Hey, JK, what's up, man? So Rainere, like these are all of his like most closest disciples. They, one by one, they got out of the cult. And so this whole, it's all of their stories. It's their like number 1, number 2, number 3 people. And it's their story talking about this cult from the beginning until they put this guy in, you know, they prosecuted this guy. I don't even know if he went to jail. I'm assuming he did, but I'm not quite that far. At least not in the second series. But, it's a slow burn. And there was many times where I'm sitting here watching it going, we could have compressed this a lot. I did not need 10 1-hour episodes of this show, but I was in. I mean, I didn't give it up, and you guys know me. I'll bail the first time I'm starting to yawn. And I wasn't even doing this as, on the ARC Trainer, right? This wasn't an ARC Trainer show. This was like, the family's in bed. I can kick him back for an hour, hour and a half. I could do anything I want. Let's just sit down and watch this The Vow. And so I watched it. I mean, I watched the entire thing, and it was like, it wasn't edge of your seat stuff, but it's crazy. And then there's a second series made by Stars. I think the first one was from HBO. The second one's from Stars. And this one is you could watch them one or the other one and probably get what you need. I'm 3 out of the 5. I think I'm midway through the second series. The second series called Seduction or Seduced. It's called Seduced. And so towards the end of The Vow, They brought this woman in whose daughter, and these were affluent people. A lot of the people that were involved in this organization were affluent people. They were actors and politicians and daughters of, the Seagram's wine cooler empire, right? I mean, these people had shitloads of money, shitloads of legal teams, and they got away with almost murder, maybe probably murder. But so towards the end, there was this mother who was really involved with trying to get this cult closed down because her daughter had been assimilated into this cult, big time. Anyway, and her mom was like the princess of Venezuela or something, crown princess of Venezuela. Lots of money, lots of affluent people. It turned out later that the mom of this girl they'd gotten enslaved by this group was married to Casper Van Dien from Starship Troopers. How's that for interesting? But anyway, so this whole thing is all about mind control. It's all about slowly. I mean, this happened over like 20 years, man. This wasn't this, Jim Jones thing. It wasn't quick. It wasn't Waco. This was a slow burn. And maybe that's what they were trying to do with this 10 parts versus making it like 5 parts. But these people were brought in by Rainere, and it's amazing. And at one point, these women are being fire-branded with this guy's name, and they are eager to do it. And you're sitting here watching this going, the fuck are you thinking? Wait. Yeah, no. This is about empowerment. You're going to be empowered by me branding this guy's fucking initials on your vagina. It was like right next to their vagina. And you're sitting there going, dude, how do you sucker in for that? But then as you're watching this thing, it's like this was a systematic breakdown, piece by piece, little by little. If nothing else, it's interesting from an intellectual point of view of how this guy, this one dude and his first line of people got tens of thousands of people into this cult, making money hand over fist, and anybody who even questioned anything, it was always flipped back on them. And they were sorry. They didn't want to disappoint, so they did it. We need you to recruit other sex slave women. And if you don't, we're going to be unhappy with you. Oh, yes, master, I'll do it. What? Wait, what? How is this happening? These are intelligent people. These are really super intelligent people. These aren't religious zealots. These aren't the hillbillies. These are like affluent people. Make Scientology look like, Sunday school. But the whole thing's nutty. It's crazy town. And again, I would say these are complementary. I wouldn't watch one or the other. I would watch them both. I would watch The Vow first. And then, then there's an overlap sort of where this mother and the daughter, it's all from the daughter's point of view. This India, whatever her name is, her last name, Oxenford, something like that. And, it's all her point of view. And she tells the whole story from the time that she was brought in for these classes to, I'm not going to want to ruin the fun for you, but shit, the fuck, man. So it's her story for the second piece of it. And you have a good basis from The Vow to go into this Seduced one. It's really good. I mean, listen, I'm all into it. And so I'm on the 3rd episode of 5 of Seduced. I've already watched all of The Vow. If it even sounds remotely interesting to you, pick it up. The first series, you could probably do something else like, flip through your tablet or something like that, or wash dishes while you're watching it or something like that. Do housework while you're watching it because it's slow and they reiterate things frequently. But, yeah, it's nutty stuff. So I'm all into that. That's been my filler show right now. That's what I've been doing to enjoy my time, on my own. On deck, though, just released yesterday, In Search of Darkness Part 2, 4 more hours of retrospective tribute to 80s horror movies. You guys know I talked all up about the first one. I backed the second one, no questions asked, waiting for the Blu-ray to come. I haven't watched it yet. It's on deck. I'm going to put that on right after I'm done with this Seduced show. So stay tuned for more information on that. But it is available. It's out now. And I'm really super excited to see it. Okay, it's time to talk about the Google Photos storage debacle. There's a lot of people pissed off. I'm actually not one of them, and the only reason I'm probably not one of them is because I'm already on a Google One plan, so it doesn't affect me. But, so the long story short is, come July of next year, unlimited storage of certain sized photos. Because right now, Google offers you unlimited storage of Google Photos, video and photos, as long as they're not too big. Or you can say, only upload this particular size. It's still a good size. I think they call it like, high quality versus original. High quality mode or high definition pictures, but not original, where you shot a 12 gigabyte picture on your 1.21 gigawatt, camera in RAW format, where every picture is like a gig. So they'll let you upload unlimited versions in this high resolution format, but not original format. Unlimited. Well, as of July of next year, you're now down to the 15 gigabyte cap, which, listen, that's actually pretty generous. I mean, if you look around, I think, iCloud is 5 gigabytes. I think OneDrive is 5, I think, as well. I mean, 15 gigabytes is still generous, but everybody is acting like somebody shot their fucking dog. It's like, listen, how long did you think that was going to happen? I mean, you can't go to Amazon. Amazon's got unlimited photo storage, right? With your Prime membership. That makes it a hell of a deal. And I even jumped on the interface recently just so I could sort of evaluate. Because listen, here's the biggest problem with Google Photos. I'll tell you straight up. People use Google Photos as cold storage. And they're pissed off now that they don't get free cold storage anymore. And that's what it really boils down to. Some people are, I'm not saying everybody. Some people use Google Photos as a dump, as a backup, right? Other people are using Google Photos in a much higher capacity, right? Google Photos has all sorts of great shit in it. If you use it, I mean, if you're willing to use it, if it makes sense for you to use it. If it doesn't, then Google Photos is not for you. Listen, if you want cold storage of photos, for God's sakes, look around, right? I mean, if all you want to do is shove 3 terabytes of pictures and videos somewhere just in case your house burns down. Dude, Google One, Google Drive, the Google storage solutions, that's not for you. There's cheaper alternatives. You're just using the wrong product. So there's all this, there's all this going on. Everyone's upset about it. And listen, I get it. Everybody who's getting something for free doesn't like to be asked to pay for it. Totally get it. And again, I'm more pissed at Google for doing shit like taking away Google Play Music, and now they're going to kill Google Hangouts. Then they killed Google Plus. Anytime I get to fall in love with a Google product, they cull it or they kill it. That's my problem with Google, along with everything else. It's a problem with Google. But when it comes to things like this, listen, I don't know how much. I mean, right now, there are pirate groups using Google Drive to store hundreds, or if not thousands, of terabytes of pirated software. Listen, Google has a long reach and deep pockets, but someone's got to pay for that shit. And it ain't the pirates that are paying for it. It's you that are paying for it. Me, I'm paying for it. And I'm grandfathered in, right? So I get to complain even less because I'm on the 2 terabyte Google Drive, or the Google One account. And that gets me 2 terabytes for $100 a year. Even cold storage, cold storage is cheaper, but that's all encompassing. I get to share that space with 5 family members. I get all the Google services around it. I actually use Google Photos, like maybe 50% of what it's capable of doing, but I still use it more than the people who are using Google Photos as cold storage. So I understand that people are upset. But you just gotta take a step back and say, how can I get around this? What's my next step? Am I really using Google Photos, or am I using it as a picture dump site? And if it's a picture dump site, shit, man, set up your own shit. You got a Plex server, right? Damn, that stores pictures, and it's got camera uploads. It's got all that stuff. You can literally take pictures all day long on your phone and upload it straight to Plex. And then you maintain it. You don't have to pay anybody. Yeah, but what if there's a fire in my house? Yeah, well, okay, listen. What, you want to store it off-site? If you go buy a storage unit, you're going to pay for that too. But listen, this isn't the clitoris, right? This is not nature's Rubik's Cube. It's very simple. You use your Plex server as your local storage and display. And once a month, right? Once a month, you exchange a drive with a guy from work, right? So you give him a drive, he gives you a drive. You take his pictures on your site and then, or, you bring his hard drive onto your site. You hand him your hard drive and he puts it on his site. When I say site, I mean on location, not on a website. I'm talking about you get a terabyte drive once a month. You dump all your pictures and video to it. You take it and exchange it with the guy at work and he gives you one. And then you take that and you put it in your house. The likelihood of both your houses burning down at the same time, probably pretty slim. So listen, listen, Google has made me want to chew up frickin', steel and spit out nails. I understand. I mean, but the fact that this is where people draw the line, right? I mean, Google's taking a lot more away from us than Google Photos. And they're not even taking it away. They're giving you 15 gigabytes. That's insane. That's huge. That's a lot of space. I mean, for pictures. I mean, not video, of course, but anyway, so I've been trying to calm down a handful of my acquaintances that are just like, fuck Google Photos. This should be free. It's like, yeah, dude, listen, everything can't be free. You got to pay for it. Yeah, well, they're already harvesting my data. I should get that for free. Well, you got a point there. Maybe you should, but as cheap as storage is, your 15 gigabytes extrapolated across, 60 billion people using it, then, somebody's got to pay the piper. And listen, I hate that $100 nut a year. Every time I get this 1 month warning that says, your payment for Google One will be coming due soon. I'm like, oh, fuck, that's $100 I got to kick out of my paycheck. But oddly enough, there are ways of making that $100 work for you. Well, it's not $100 for you unless you're grandfathered in. Now it's like $130. But as many of you know, those of you who were on the Google Premium or the YouTube Premium service with Google Play Music, for example, all of a sudden, Google wants to send you a free Stadia. They want to send you a Stadia. They want to send you a Chromecast Ultra, which is worth $60. They want to send you this Stadia controller. I don't know what that's worth because I don't know if they sell them separately. And they want to give you your first 3 months for free. Now, listen, I ain't going to be playing any Stadia. I'll tell you that right now. But a Chromecast Ultra? Fuck yeah, sign me up, buddy. That's $60. And, it's nothing for them, but it's a nice, nice incentive. So essentially, these sort of things sort of pay for themselves if you work it out. I do know that with the Google One plan, I also get 10% off of their Google Shopping. Listen, it's not like Amazon. I can't have it overnight, so I'm going to probably go with Amazon. It's just the way the way I am now. I'm in a hurry. But, if you took 10% off and you spent a couple $100 over on the Google store throughout the year buying, Google Home devices for your family or whatever, now listen, you're sort of paid off. You just got to kind of make it work for you. But I get it. I understand why people are upset, but it's like, you're probably using the wrong thing anyway. This is just a good wake-up call for you. If you just need cold storage, listen, Amazon, I know Amazon has a great cold storage deal. You don't actually spend any money until you get the stuff back, right? So it's sort of insurance. You pay like 3 cents a gigabyte to store with Amazon cold storage. We had to do an RFP for it at work not too long ago to see who we were going to use for storage. And it was like 3 cents a gigabyte. And you're sitting there going, wait a minute. That's not a lot of money. It's like, yeah, no, it's not a lot of money. That's to store it. And then they charge you a fee when you pull stuff out of it. That's what cold storage is. You don't pay going in, you pay coming out. But if your house never burns down, right? You know what I'm saying? If the house never burns down, you're never going to retrieve it. So you're basically paying a small fee for insurance, but you come up with another option. I don't know. So yeah, I'm going to get that free Stadia. I'm going to find out if I can get that controller to work on that Raspberry Pi 4 I was just talking about. That's going to be my go-to controller on there. Because I've already tried Stadia. I can't stomach it. It doesn't work for me. Virtual ownership, never owning anything. I mean, it's bad enough having digital lockers all over the place, right? It's bad enough that, I don't get to own a disc or a box for my purchases. I have to rely on a digital bit in a database somewhere. But at least with digital lockers like Steam, then, I can offload. I can back that up. I can put that on a disk. I can store that on my cloud. I can get that program back at some future time. On Stadia, when Google takes that away from everybody, like they do everything else, you're out hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars. All your shit's gone. I don't know. Not for me. I am not of that age, I guess. I am not of the era of streaming gaming and no ownership of anything. I'm not. That's not me. I've got to own. I've got to possess. I need that. I need the tactile comfort of physical media. I need that stuff. I am not a disposable nature guy. So let's see. What do we got here? I've got one more. You know what? I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it because we're already at 65 minutes. I should probably get my ass in the house. I'm starting to fog up the car here. People are going to wonder what's going on. But listen, you got over an hour show. Not too bad. I do want to put a quick plug in. I wanted to talk more about Call of Duty Cold War because I'm ass and elbows into Call of Duty Cold War. I've played the campaign all the way through. I've got a lot of time on zombies. I've played a lot of multiplayer. I was on the beta. So I have a lot of stuff I want to talk about with Call of Duty. I just don't have time to do it tonight. But right now, I'm very pleased. It feels very Infinite Warfare-ish, which is a plus in my book. I know a lot of people it's not. But the zombies offers some new stuff, good stuff. The campaign is excellent. The multiplayer is very, very good. So we'll talk about that another time. All right, I hope you enjoyed the show, everybody. This is Shane R. Monroe with Passenger Seat Radio. We'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.